You're overcomplicating it, massively, and that's exactly why it's not working. Right now, there are people manifesting effortlessly, creating their reality with ease, collapsing desired outcomes consistently, and they are not doing more than you. They are doing less, because they understand something you don't. Something so simple, so obvious, so ridiculously straightforward that your mind keeps walking right past it, looking for something more complex. Quantum manifestation isn't a 47-step process. It's not a complex system requiring moon phases, sacred geometry, chakra alignments, and ancient activations. It's not something that takes years to master or requires you to be spiritually enlightened. It's simple. So simple that the simplicity itself is what makes it invisible to most people. Because you've been trained to believe that transformation requires complexity, that real change requires elaborate techniques, that anything powerful must be difficult to access. But that's backwards. The most powerful forces in the universe are elegantly simple. Gravity, light, frequency. They follow simple laws, clean principles, direct mechanics. And quantum manifestation, same thing. Simple law, clean principle, direct mechanic. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how simple quantum manifestation actually is, why that simplicity makes it work, why complexity has been blocking you, and the one simple thing you need to do differently starting right now. But I need to warn you, when I reveal how simple this is, your mind is going to reject it. Your mind is going to say, that can't be it. There has to be more. I must be missing something. But you're not. That's IT. That's the whole thing. And the reason you've been struggling isn't because you don't know enough. It's because you know too much. You've overcomplicated something that only works when it's simple. So if you're ready to strip away all the complexity, all the techniques, all the noise, and finally see the simple truth that's been hiding in plain sight, pay attention. Because this is Quantum Pathway. And we don't teach you more. We teach you less. We reveal the simplicity that everyone else is covering up with complexity. Are you ready? Because what I'm about to show you is going to seem too simple to work. But that's exactly why it does work. Let me give you quantum manifestation in one sentence. One simple, direct, complete explanation. You get what you AIE, not what you want. That's it. That's the entire mechanism. That's all of quantum manifestation. You don't get abundance by wanting abundance. You get abundance by being abundant. You don't get love by wanting love. You get love by being love. You don't get success by wanting success. You get success by being successful. Being creates having, not wanting, not wishing, not visualizing, not affirming. Being. Let me explain why this is physics, not philosophy. In quantum mechanics, reality exists in superposition, all possibilities simultaneously, until an observer collapses it into ONE-specific reality. The observer doesn't collapse reality through wanting. The observer collapses reality through being, through their state, through their frequency. You AIE abundant, you observe and collapse abundant realities. You AIE scarce, you observe and collapse scarce realities. You AIE powerful, you observe and collapse powerful realities. You AIE victim, you observe and collapse victim realities. The quantum field doesn't respond to your desires. It responds to your state of being, to what you AIE, to the frequency you're actually broadcasting. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Your being is your frequency. Your being is your vibration. Your being is your energy. And that's what creates your reality, not your wanting. Your being. This is why people can want abundance for years and stay broke. Because they are being scarcity while wanting abundance. And you get what you AIE, not what you want. This is why people can want love for decades and stay alone. Because they are being unlovable while wanting love. And you get what you AIE, not what you want. This is why all those techniques, visualizations, affirmations, vision boards, rituals, don't work for most people. Because they are trying to change what they want instead of changing what they AIE. But the quantum field doesn't care what you want. It only responds to what you AIE. So quantum manifestation isn't about getting. It's about becoming. It's not about attracting. It's about being. And here's why this is so simple and so challenging at the same time. Simple, you don't need techniques. You don't need systems. You don't need elaborate practices. You just need to be the state that matches what you desire. That's IT. Challenging. Most people don't know how to be different. They don't know how to shift from being scarcity to being abundance, from being victim to being powerful, from being fear to being love. So they default to techniques, because at least techniques give them something to do, even though doing doesn't change being. And being is all that matters. But once you understand how to change your being, once you grasp the simple mechanics of state shift, manifestation becomes effortless. Not because you mastered a complex system, because you embrace a simple truth. You get what you AI, change what you AIE, change what you get. That's quantum manifestation. Simple, direct, complete. So if quantum manifestation is as simple, just be what you want to have, why doesn't everyone do it? Why are people still struggling with complex techniques that don't work? Let me show you exactly why complexity blocks manifestation. Reason 1. Doing feels like progress. When you're visualizing for 30 minutes, you feel like you're working toward your goal. When you're making a vision board, you feel productive. When you're performing a manifestation ritual, you feel like you're doing something. But being feels like nothing. There's no activity, no action, no measurable output, and your mind equates nothing with not working. So it rejects the simplicity of being and searches for complexity of doing, even though doing creates nothing and being creates everything. Reason 2. Complexity creates the illusion of control. When you have a 10-step manifestation process, you feel in control. You have a roadmap, a system, a method, but when it's just be the state, you can't control it the way you control a process. You have to surrender into being. You have to let go of control. And most people would rather have the illusion of control through complex techniques than the actual power of simplicity through being. Reason 3. Complexity gives you an excuse. When manifestation is a 47-step process and it doesn't work, you can say, I must have missed a step. I must have done step 23 incorrectly. I need to try harder. But when it's just be the state and it doesn't work, there's no excuse. You're either being it or you're not. There's no room to hide behind, I didn't do the technique right. So complexity gives you a buffer, an excuse, a way to avoid the truth. You're not being what you want to have. Reason 4. The industry profits from complexity. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The manifestation industry can't sell you simplicity. Just Be the State isn't a $997 course. It's not a 12-week program. It's not a membership, but the ultimate quantum manifestation system with 47 steps, sacred codes, and cosmic alignments. That sells. So the industry creates complexity. It packages simplicity in elaborate wrapping. It buries the simple truth under layers of techniques, rituals, and systems, because complexity sells and simplicity doesn't, even though simplicity works and complexity doesn't. Reason 5. Your mind rejects simplicity. This is the deepest reason. Your mind is wired to seek complexity, to find patterns, to create systems, to think its way to solutions. So when you present your mind with just be the state, it goes, no, that's too simple. There must be more. I need to think about it more, analyze it more, understand it more. And in that thinking, analyzing, understanding, you move away from the simplicity that works. You're doing mental gymnastics when you just need to be. Your mind wants to make it complicated because that gives the mind something to do. But manifestation doesn't happen through the mind. It happens through being. And being requires the mind to get out of the way. Reason 6. Being requires facing yourself. Here's the real reason people avoid simplicity. If manifestation is just be the state, then you have to look at what state you're actually in. And most people don't want to look, because what they'll see is, I'm being fearful, I'm being scarce, I'm being victim, I'm being powerless. And facing that is uncomfortable. So instead of facing and changing their state, they distract themselves with complex techniques. They stay in the state of fear while doing manifestation practices. Because doing techniques is easier than becoming different. These are the reasons complexity blocks manifestation. These are why people stay stuck in elaborate systems that don't work instead of embracing the simplicity that does. But you're different. You're here. You're willing to see the simple truth. And that willingness changes everything. So how do you actually deal with this? How do you shift from wanting to being? How do you manifest through simplicity instead of complexity? Here's a complete method. And notice how simple each step is. Step 1. Identify what you want to have. Get clear on what you're trying to manifest. Money? Relationship? Health? Success? Peace? One thing. Pick one. Don't scatter your focus across 10 desires. One thing for now. Step 2. Identify the state of someone who has it. Now ask yourself, what state is someone who already has this thing? If you want abundance, what's the state of someone who is abundant? They feel secure, relaxed, trusting, generous, at ease with resources. If you want love, what's the state of someone who is loved? They feel chosen, seen, valued, safe, worthy of affection. If you want success, what's the state of someone who is successful? They feel confident, capable, deserving, proud of their accomplishments. Get specific about the state, not the circumstances, the felt sense, the energy, the frequency. Step 3. Notice your current state. Now get honest. What state are you actually in right now? If you want abundance but you're constantly anxious about money, checking your bank account with fear, hesitating to spend, feeling tightness in your chest when bills come, you're in scarcity state. If you want love but you're guarding your heart, expecting rejection, feeling unworthy, scanning for signs people don't like you, you're in unloved state. If you want success but you're doubting yourself, feeling like an imposter, expecting failure, playing small, you're in failure state. See the gap between the state you're in and the state you need to be in. That gap is what needs to close. Step 4. Shift into the desired state. Now comes the simple part. You're going to shift from your current state to the desired state. Not through technique, through choice. You simply decide to be in the abundant state. Right now, not when you have money. Now. How? You breathe like abundant you breathes. Slower, deeper, relaxed. You posture your body like abundant you postures. Open, expanded, at ease. You feel in your body like abundant you feels. Secure, trusting, generous. You're not pretending. You're not faking. You're accessing a state that's available to you right now. Because all states are available. You just have to choose them. Step 5. Live from that state. Now the crucial part. You don't just access a state in meditation and then go back to your old state. You live from the new state. All day, every choice, every moment. When you're about to make a purchase, you make it from abundant state, not scarcity state. When you're about to interact with someone, you do it from love state, not unloved state. When you're about to take action, you do it from success state, not failure state. You ask constantly, am I making this choice from my OLD state or my new state? And every time you choose from the new state, you reinforce it, stabilize it, make it more real. Step 6. Ignore the techniques. Here's the revolutionary part. You stop doing manifestation techniques. Stop visualizing. Stop affirming. Stop making vision boards. Stop performing rituals. Not because they are bad, but because they are distractions. They keep you busy instead of keeping you in state. The ONLY practices, be the state. That's it. That's all you need to do. And when you're tempted to do something to manifest, stop. Come back to, am I being the state right now? Yes or no? If yes, you're manifesting. If no, return to the state. That's the ONLY practice. Step 7. Trust the simplicity. Finally, you trust that this simple method works. Even when your mind screams, this is too simple. I need to do more. You don't need to do more. You need to be more. You need to be the state more consistently, more completely, more naturally. And when you do, when you live in the state of having what you desire before you have it, the quantum field responds. Not maybe, always, because the field responds to being, to state, to frequency. And when your state matches your desire, the field collapses circumstances that match. Perfectly, precisely, inevitably. This is a method. 7 simple steps. No complexity. No elaborate system. Just being. And being is all you need, because being is all that creates. Let me tell you why simple always beats complex when it comes to manifestation. And this is going to challenge everything the manifestation industry has taught you. Simple is sustainable. Complex techniques require effort. You have to remember steps, follow sequences, perform rituals, and effort is exhausting. Eventually, you burn out. You stop doing the techniques, and manifestation stops. But being is effortless. Once you shift into a state, maintaining it requires no effort. It's just who you are, and who you are is sustainable. You can be abundant you all day, every day, without exhaustion. Simple is immediate. Complex techniques take time. Do this visualization for 30 days. Perform this ritual during the full moon. Wait for the right cosmic alignment. But being is instant. You can shift states right now. This moment, you can be abundant in your next breath. And the moment you AIE, the quantum field responds. Not in 30 days. Now, simple works with a mechanism, not against it. Complex techniques try to manipulate the quantum field, to trick it, to convince it, to make it give you what you want. But simple being works with the field. You're not manipulating. You're aligning. You're not forcing. You're matching. You're not fighting the mechanism. You're flowing with it. And flow is always more powerful than force. Simple removes a gap. Complex techniques create a gap between you and your desire. I need to do these 10 steps before I can have what I want. But simple being eliminates the gap. I am abundant now. Therefore, abundance is mine now. No gap, no delay, no barrier. You collapse from wanting to having instantly, because you're no longer trying to get. You're being, and being creates having automatically. Simple is accessible to everyone. Complex techniques require knowledge, training, practice, resources. Not everyone has access to elaborate systems, but simple being, everyone can do this. Right now, no training, no resources, no prerequisites. Just choose a state and be it. Manifestation becomes democratic, available to all, not just those who can afford courses or have time for elaborate practices. This is why simple always beats complex. Not because complex can't work, but because simple works better, faster, easier, more consistently. And in the end, the universe operates on elegant simplicity. Simple laws, simple principles, simple mechanics. Quantum manifestation is the same. Simple law, you get what you AIE. Simple principle, be what you want to have. Simple mechanic, state creates reality. That's it. That's all. And that's enough. If you're ready to stop overcomplicating manifestation and start embracing the simplicity that actually works, this is your moment. Subscribe to Quantum Pathway. This is where we strip away complexity and reveal simple truth. Where we teach you less so you can manifest more. And in the comments, I want you to write 2 things. 1, what you're manifesting, one specific thing. 2, the state you're choosing, the state of someone who already has it. Example, manifesting $10,000. State, secure and abundant. This isn't casual. This is your simplicity commitment. You're declaring, I'm done with complexity. I'm choosing simplicity. I'm going to be the state and trust that's enough. Write both. Make it clear. Lock it in. And then for the next 30 days, your ONLY practices, be that state. That's it. No visualizations. No affirmations. No techniques. Just be the state. Every moment. Every choice. Every breath. Be the state of someone who already has what you desire. And come back in 30 days. Come to this comment section and report what manifested when you stopped overcomplicating and started simply being. Because your results will prove to others that simplicity works. That complexity is unnecessary. That being is all that matters. Write it now. Choose your state. Commit to simplicity. Start being. Stop complicating. Manifest simply. Do it now. Before we close, I need to address something important. Simple doesn't mean easy. Quantum manifestation is simple. Be the state of having what you desire. One sentence. One practice. Simple, but it's not easy, because being requires you to face your actual state, uncomfortable. Let go of old identity, scary. Stay in new state despite contradictory evidence, challenging. Reject the mind's demand for complexity, difficult. Trust simplicity when everyone else is doing techniques, lonely, simple to understand, not easy to execute. But here's the difference. Complex techniques are hard and don't work. Simple being is challenging and does work. You get to choose, hard with no results, or challenging with guaranteed results. The first is wasted effort. The second is productive challenge, growth, transformation, manifestation. So yes, this is simple. But don't confuse simple with easy. It requires commitment, consistency, consciousness. But unlike complex techniques that require effort and produce nothing, simple being requires presence and produces everything. Choose a challenge that actually creates. Choose simplicity that works. Choose being that manifests. So here we are. You now know the simple truth. Quantum manifestation isn't complex. It's elegantly simple. You get what you AI. Be the state of having what you desire. That's it. That's everything. No techniques needed. No elaborate systems. No complex processes. Just simple being. And you have the method. Identify what you want. Identify the state of having it. Notice your current state. Shift to desired state. Live from it. Ignore techniques. Trust simplicity. 7 simple steps. But really, it's one step. Be the state. So the question is, will you trust the simplicity? Will you let go of complexity? Will you embrace the elegant truth that being creates having? Or will you go back to searching for the next technique, the next system, the next complex method that promises results but delivers exhaustion? Because the quantum field doesn't reward complexity. It responds to simplicity, to being, to state. This is Quantum Pathway, where we teach you less so you can create more, where we reveal that the power was never in doing. It was always in being. Quantum manifestation is simpler than you think, and that's how it works. Not through elaborate techniques, through simple being. You want abundance? Be abundant. You want love? Be loving. You want success? Be successful. Right now, this moment, no prerequisites, no delay, just choice, just being. The simplicity is your power. The complexity was your prison. Now you're free. Free to simply be. And let being create everything. Welcome to simplicity. Welcome to power. Welcome to manifestation that actually works. Now go be what you want to have. And watch how simple it is when you stop making it complicated. Simple, powerful, yours.